In today's video, we're going to be dabbling our feet in Legacy with a brand new card. This new card is Folding Glass, which if you haven't seen, this is a red and a white X. Create X red human knight creature tokens with trample and haste. And whenever one or more creature deals combat damage, you become the monarch. All that the monarch does is it allows you to draw an extra card on your end step for as long as you are the monarch. Meaning that paying only 2 to 3 mana to get the monarch is super powerful. We're going to be adding this to Delver to try and find a new card advantage spell similar to EI. So we're going to be taking Delver and this sweet new card through a League of Legacy and seeing how powerful this really is. Match 1, we're on the draw, and hand looks great. Opponent goes turn 1 Cephalid Coliseum into a Careful Study. We find a Sword, and we'll lead on a Bobble looking at our top scene if we want it. And there's a Force on top. I don't know the format well enough to know if that's good, but I think it's not good enough, so I'm going to shuffle it away. And we'll go turn 1 Delver, and we find another land, not great. And in their upkeep, they do Dredge, and they don't hit anything great. And they cast a Brainstorm, so we will daze this for sure. And it looks like they have a Force to back that up. Oh my god, they get so many things. They hit 2 Bridges and a Cabal Therapy, and they're also getting back a Narcomoeba, so at this point we're just dead. We're going to scoop it up and get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 2 Swords and 3 Lightning Bolts for 2 Force Negation, 2 Surgicals, and a Grafdigger's Cage. And our starting hand has double Surgical, Daze, and a Delver. This has got to be good. We'll go turn 1 Bulk into a Delver. And opponent goes straight to discard, getting rid of a Golgari Grave Troll. And we do not blind flip, unfortunately. We'll play out our Delta and then play out our Surgical. Wow, and looks like we're pretty good here. Their hand is not the best. And then we'll poke in for 1. And they go to discard again, getting rid of a Stinkweed Imp. And we see another land on top. We will not reveal it, but before we draw it, we will shuffle this away. And that's why we did play out the Delta. And we'll pick up a Tundra. And Force Will's not a bad one either. Oh, we will Surgical yet again. And their hand still looks pretty weak, but we need to flip this Delver to actually have a chance. Then we'll play out our Delta and attack in with our Delver. They play out an Island and then cast a Careful Study, which we will hard cast Daze to counter. Oh my god, Delver, please. Nope, we're not going to reveal that. And again, I think I need to shuffle this away. And then we find a Murktide, pretty sweet draw. And we'll cast it out, leaving 1 land in our graveyard, and then attack in for another 1. They play out their Misty into a Brainstorm. Then they fetch out Underground Sea and cast a Stern Dismissal on our Murktide. Oh my god, I hate Delver Secrets so much. And we can still hold up Force here, which is nice. And they cast out a Cabal Therapy targeting themselves. Not sure what this means, but I'm gonna force it. Come on, Delvers, please. Yes, let's go, Brainstorm. Let's attack in for 6. And I think I should Brainstorm now because we do have Grafdigger's Cage and whatnot. Oh, I'm so dumb. Well, let's put Brainstorm underneath the 4th Yearlings and then play out our land. The next turn we should have lethal. They cast out a Gaze, and they put a UC and a Grief into Yard, and we'll cast out our 4th Yearlings for all that we can, and this should be lethal. Let's go. So let's get on to game 3. For game 3, we're going to bring in a Pyroblast and a Red Blast for a Lightning Bolt and a Yearlings. Man, I want to keep this so bad, but we got a Mole for game 3. And this looks much better. We'll put back a Tundra. They go turn 1 UC into a Cabal Therapy, naming Surgical. Let's freaking go. And I think it's time to cheese out the opponent here. Oh, they have another land, unfortunate. And they play another land that can be wasted into a Therapy. And unfortunately, I think I should let this go. And they name Force Negation, taking it. And we find another Delver. Well, I guess I'm wasting yet again. No. But nothing from them. And in our upkeep, they cast an Otherworldly Gaze. Oh, and they find a bunch of things. And another land. Well, I don't think there's a reason to do anything other than play a Delver here. But I might be wrong. Oh, of course, they find a Narcomoeba and a Bridge from Below. Yeah, I think we're just toast here. And then they play out a Cephalid Coliseum, targeting themselves, strolling 3 and discarding 3. And they don't hit terribly well, but we are going to lose our entire hand probably. Yep, they flash back another Therapy, taking a peek at our hand again. And then they evoke out a Grief, taking our last card. All right, come on, Grafdigger's Cage. And we find a DRC. In their upkeep, they bring back an Icarid, and then they Dredge. And they do find a Hogak and a Bridge from Below with another Cabal Therapy. So we're just going to scoop it up here. There's no winning from this point. So let's get on to match number 2. Match 2, we are on the play, and hand looks quite strong. We'll go turn 1 Volk into a Mishra's Bobble, looking at the opponent's top, seeing a Saga, and then we'll play out our Delver. And we find a DRC as well. They play out a Grove into a Mox Diamond, which means we're probably up against lands. Oh, and they have Punishing Fire as well. This is so bad for us. At least we find a Brainstorm, so we'll fire that off. Land, oh god. Well, we'll put back Swords, and I guess a Bolt. Okay, we'll just back it up here. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're gonna bring in 2 Surgicals, 2 Force Negations, a Meltdown, and 2 Swords for Force of Will, 4 Bolts, and 2 Spell Pierce. Oh my my god, this hand's so bad. I want to keep it, but we got them all. And this looks way more powerful. We'll keep this and we're going to put back a swords. We'll go turn 1 fetch for a Volk and play out our DRC. And they go turn 1 wasteland, killing our land, into a Mox Diamond, pitching a Grove, into an exploration. And I think that's fine. Then they play out a forest into another exploration. Ponder's not a great draw, but we'll play out our waste and poke in for 1. And they do have a loam, so this is what we were saving our force for. We'll play it, pitching our Murktide, and we'll bin a daze. And on the end step, we will cast our surgical, taking out their loams, and brainstorm has to go in the bin. Oh, their hand is not very good. Last card is a Mox. And of note, they're on Minsk and Boo and Sphere of Resistances. No lands. Oh, we're gonna keep our waste here and poke in for 1. Oh, they find a Crop Rot. Not sure what they're gonna pick up here, but that's kind of scary. And they pick up a Blast Zone. Come on, deck. We'll attack in for 1. And I sadly think we need to waste this Blast Zone. And they find a waste. Find a Volk finally. We'll cast a Ponder. And we'll put a DRC in the yard, which means this will be Delirious now. And yeah, we definitely want the land here. And we'll poke in for 3. And they fire off the waste on the end step, just to taiga for the opponent. We'll play out our Tundra and fire off another Ponder, binning the DRC. And I think I will keep the waste and the daze, poking in for another 3. They play out a stage, and we'll fire off another Ponder, binning the swords. And these are all very powerful. So we'll draw the Murktide and then play out our waste, attacking in for 3. And nothing from the opponent. We'll play out our Scalding Tarn, fetching for a Volk, and we're gonna play out our Murktide now just in case they do have an Endurance. Oh, they have a Pyroblast. All right, attacking for 3. And they do find a Depths. So happy we held the waste here. Another land. We'll fire off a Brainstorm. We'll bend the land. And we'll put back the Tundra and the Delver. Let our Floodstrand and attacking for 3. And opponent scoops it up. Let's get on to game 3. Game 3, we have a very bad hand. Got a mole. And our 6 looks quite powerful. We'll put back a Swords. They go turn 1 Yavimaya into a Mox, pitching a Urza Saga into a Sylvan Library. And we find a Daze. We'll fetch out a Volcanic and play out our DRC. And they pay 4 life to keep one of the cards. Then they play out an Exploration into double Thespian Sage and a Choke. So thankfully we do have a Daze here. And Force is actually pretty good here, I think. So we'll keep that. And I think they would have played a Dark Depths because they could have made a 2020 this turn anyways. So I'm not going to play the Waste. I'm going to play out our land and Ponder. And we'll bend the DRC, getting Delirious. And we are definitely keeping the lands and the swords. So we'll draw this Polluted Delta now and attack in for 3. They play out a Waste, taking out our land. We'll play out our Delta and attack in for 3. They play out a Taiga and a Waste. We'll attack in for 3. And I think I should play the Waste out. I'm not sure if that's right though. An opponent does nothing. We'll play out our Tundra. And then we will fetch out a Red Source and cast our Earlings. And Mystic Sanctuary is not good. We'll bin that. And we'll attack in for 5. And they have a Crop Rotation, which we will need to Force of Will, pitching our Murktide. And opponent scoops it up. Let's get on to match number 3. Match 3, we're on the draw and our hand looks quite strong. They go turn 1 Volk into double Rite of Flame, Grim Monolith, and an Amox Opal. Oh my goodness. Into a Burning Wish. What is going on? Picking up Empty the Warrens. Oh my goodness. I don't think we can beat this, but I guess we'll take a draw step. Yeah, we definitely aren't winning, and I'd rather not show them that we're on Delver, so let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 2 swords, 4 bolts, and a Murktide Regent for Red Elemental Blast, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Hydro Blast, and Force Negations. Probably sideboarding wrong, but I don't really know this format that well. And I guess this hand's fine. We'll go turn 1 Volk into Delver. They go turn 1 Tomb into Monolith, which I think is fine. Into a Defense Grid. Sure, why not? Oh my god, they have an LED as well. Into a Mox. No, please. No. Maybe I should have forced this. I don't know. Well, our hand just sucks here, but that's okay. They play out a Chrome Mox into another Chrome Mox. Then they play out a Grim Monolith into a One Ring. Oh my goodness. Drawing a card right away. And hey, at least we have to flip a Delver. They play out an Ancient Tomb into a Lotus Petal, into another Mox, and they hard cast an Echo. At least our hand's different. They cast out 2 Rights into a Lotus Petal, into another Lotus Petal, into a second Defense Grid and a Mox, playing out a Burning Wish, and I think we're dead here. Yep, and they find a Tendrils of Agony. This is what a better Legacy player looks like, so let's get on to match number 4. Match number 4, our starting hand is a little weak, but I will keep. They go turn 1 Saga into a Bauble. I'm going to assume this is 8 cast, but I'm not 100% sure. And they randomly see a Force of Will off the Bauble, and we draw a Tundra for turn. We'll cast out our Bauble, looking at our top, seeing if we want it, and seeing a 4th Earlings. I don't think that's good in this matchup. Let's pick up a Volk and cast a Ponder. And Wasteland's definitely the good card here. So we're going to put Brainstorm on the bottom, Delver under that, and Wasteland into our hand. They play out an Ancient Tomb into a Mox Opal. We draw our Brainstorm, we'll play out our Delver, and then play out our Wasteland. And on the end step, they do make a Construct. I think I'm going to go for the more risky line of taking out their Ancient Tomb. They float a mana off their Saga, and they pick up an Aether Spellbomb, playing out a Seat of the Synod, and they attack in for 4. In the upkeep, we will Brainstorm so that we can flip this Delver. Delver, finding some good ones. We'll put back Murktide Regent and a Force of Will, and we will reveal the Force of Will to our Delver. This is because they already sold off the bauble anyways, and then we'll attack in. Then we're going to play our Tarn, fetch away our Murktide, and grab an island, and then play our other Delver. And looks like they have another land into a Shadow Spear, so we do have to force that pitching force. And they attack in for 5. And our top card is a Misty Rainforest. We'll play out our Tundra and attack in with the team. They play an Otawara into a Thought Monitor. Then they run out a Mishra's Bauble into a Lotus Petal. And then they attack in for 8, and we have to bolt the Thought Monitor, else we're dead. And we're down to 1, and then they bobble our top card. And they play out another Opal, probably holding up Force Negation or something like that. I'm not sure. We top deck a Wasteland. Yeah, and at this point, even if we just hold back both, we're still dead. We're in the Abyss, so let's scoop it up and get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 3 Days, 2 Spell Pierce and Swords for 2 Meltdowns, Null Rod, Pyroblast, and a Red Blast. Game 2, our hand seems like it does nothing, but doing nothing sometimes is good. We'll go turn 1 Strand and play out our Bauble. They go Sita Synod into a Bauble, and then play out an Emery, which we will Pyroblast. And let's see if we get to jam our Null Rod here. And their top card is a Force, good to know about. We drew a lot of lands, but we'll play out Tundra and then jam our Null Rod. It does nothing! Even F6, meaning that they didn't even crack Bauble. Oh, baby. And they play out a Chalice. Oh, I have to daze this, but I think they're going to force this. And they don't force it. Interesting. And they just scoop it up there. Let's get on to game 3. Game 3, our opponent moles, and we're going to join them. And this looks much better. And this looks much better. We'll put back a Daze. They go turn 1 Island into a Petal, playing out a Chalice on 1. Big yikes. We find a Tundra. We'll play Bauble. We'll look at their top now. Seeing a Bauble as well. And I guess we'll play out our Volk. Murktide's a good pickup. They play a Bauble into a Opal and no land drop. DRC, unfortunate. We'll play out a Waste. They crack their Bauble, seen our 4th Earlings. It's a pretty good one to see, actually. Mystic Sanctuary, not great. We'll jam our Earlings, and that does meet a Force. They play out a Bauble, cracking it, seen our top. And then they play out a Saga into our Wasteland. Interesting. Red Blast, great. We'll Wasteland their Saga and play out our Mystic Sanctuary. They play out a Bauble, and I think on the end step we're going to Pyroblast here just so that we can play out our Murktide next turn. Yeah, we'll Pyroblast, I guess, the Chalice. Why not? We find a Misty. We'll play out our Waste and cast a Murktide. And their last card was a Force. And they find another Bauble. And we top deck a Force. They crack a Bauble looking at our top. And we will not fetch. We want to keep our fetch in play. Yes, more 1-drops. They play another Bauble. Super fun gameplay. They pop a Bauble, seeing a DRC in our hand. And they pop their other Bauble looking at our top. Yes, another land. They play out a Seat into an Emery. And we will force this Emery. And hardcast Force. Let's go. Into a Lotus Petal. And a Psy Master Thopterus. Yikes. Come on, deck. They play out a Shadow Sphere. Great. And they poke us for 1, playing out an Ancient Tomb. Okay, Meltdown. Where are we at? That's not a Meltdown. I guess we are passing back again. Oh, they find a Thoughtcast. Pretty good. And they attack in for 2. This deck hates me, doesn't it? All right, pass back. And they play out a Saga, and we will waste that. That's why we've been holding on to the Waste. And they're taking us down slowly but surely. Okay, at least this is castable. They play an Ancient Tomb and poke us for 2. We draw another 1-drop. Opponent found a Thought Monitor. They try and play it, and this will definitely meet a Force. And the last 2 cards was 2 Forces, so they force back. All right, come on, Meltdown. 1-time dealer. An opponent plays out a Chalice for 2, which is not important because Meltdown just kills everything anyways. All right, pass back. They top deck a Thoughtcast. Oh my goodness. All right, well, our opponent got us. Yeah, like, I don't know. We just had a lot of things. But anyways, let's get on to match number 5. Match number 5, we are on the draw, and we just got a mulligan. And our 6 is quite strong here. We'll put back a land. So it goes turn 1 Agadeem's Awakening into a Thoughtseize. And they do take our Force. I'm concerned that there's some sort of combo deck, so I'm going to fetch and ponder here. And all these cards are pretty redundant here, so I'm going to shuffle this. Finding a Waste, not a bad one. Opponent plays out a Chrome Mox, exiling a Cabal Ritual. Find another land, and we'll fire off a Wasteland here, taking out their land. And in response, they flash an Ebo Masters before they lose their mana. So happy that we did that before playing out our Delver. And then we'll cast Delver. And they find another Thoughtseize here, taking our Bolt and not our Earlings. Then they poke in for 1. And our top card is a DRC, definitely a good top deck. And we'll play out a land. They play out a Mox Opal and no attacks. And we do get to flip our Delver, revealing a Force. We'll play out our Tarn, and we will cast our 4th Earlings here. And we're going to surveil a Mystic Sanctuary into the yard. And we're just going to attack in with our Insectal Aberration, becoming the Monarch. Oh, but they get a draw off the Bowmasters. I forgot about that. Which means they get to take down our DRC, and they attack in with their orc army, and we're gonna trade off here. Another force for us, and I'm not sure if there's a reason to not attack here, so I will. Then we'll play out our Tundra, finding yet another land off the top. They attack in for 2, taking the Monarch, and they play out an LED, floating a mana off their Opal, and then playing another Opal. They float in a mana and then play another Opal, then casting out a Charbelcher. Oh my goodness, thankfully we have a force. Oh god, then they float 3 mana and cast an Echo of Eons. Oh no. Oh, this is so good for them. Yep, and they take down our Insectile Aberration and then ping us for 5. And then they play out a tapped land, drawing a card off of their Monarch. And we're gonna untap here before doing anything. Finding another waste. We're gonna fire it off, taking out their land. Then we're gonna play a DRC, casting a Swords on the Orc army, surveilling. And we'll bin a Ponder, getting our DRC Delirious. And then we will bolt their Bowmasters. And we will bin a Daze as well. They play a Land Grant, revealing their hand, taking up a Bayou. Wait, I think we are just dead though. Yeah, they're gonna play out Dark Ritual, and then they can play out a Bowmasters, entomb another Echo, and then play out LDD, flashing it back. Yeah, the opponent has us here. Pretty sweet deck from them. But let's get on to sideboarding. We're gonna take out 3 Murktide and 2 Swords for 2 Meltdown, 2 Force Negation, and a Null Rod. And our starting hand is quite powerful. Sadly, we don't have a Force, but I don't think we can mold us. We'll go turn 1 Volk into a Delver. Oh god, they're land granting. I'm terrified. Their starting hand just goes turn 1 Echo, but that's about it. And our top card's a land, so we will not reveal it. We'll play out our Delta and attack in for 1. They play out an Agadeem's Awakening into a Lotus Petal, running out their Bowmasters. So in response, we will Brainstorm. And we're going to put back a Meltdown and our Tundra. And then they do get to take out our Delver. So on the end step, we will fetch for Volk and we will bolt down their Bowmasters. Ooh, Wasteland off the top. Don't mind if I do. We're going to fire that off, taking out their Bayou. Then we'll play out our Delver, passing back to the opponent. They play out a Mox Opal into an LED, then cast out a Defense Grid. Holy Meltdown. This is going to look so good. Oh, they top deck an Echo. Oh my goodness. And they land grant again. Yep, they cast out a Dark Ritual and then cast out their Charbelcher, and they even have a Turn Timber in their hand, which means I think that no matter what happens here, we cannot win. And they attack in for 1. Nope, we get to reveal a Lightning Bolt at least. Oh wait, we have a Null Rod in our list, and I think that's the only card that saves us here. So I guess we gotta find it in our Brainstorm. Wait a moment. Does this help us? No, it doesn't, because they can still just activate Charbelcher. God, why are we so close? I guess we're gonna put back 2 lands, fetch, and then see if there's something that can help us. But I think we have 0 outs here. Daze does nothing, I don't think. I don't know, we might as well just try here, right? So let's put back a Delver and a Meltdown, play out our DRC, play out a Bauble, binning the Meltdown, and then look at their top card and hope we aren't dead. They even drew a Veil. Oh my goodness. Well, whatever. Yeah, they play out a Petal, and yeah, no, we're just dead. They can activate Charbelcher at any point. I guess we'll make them do it though. Yep, and they go to activate, and they reveal a few cards, dealing a lot of damage, going to -29. But anyways, when looking at the deck, I'm not sure if this 4 Earling card is even that great in this list. I wasn't so huge on the white splash for the Swords. I think this card's probably the only card you really want in the list. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please let me know down below if you want to see more Legacy at some point. Maybe I'll actually get better at this game. But anyways, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.